What's going on, Weekend Hangover Nation? I'm your boy Surf, and I'm back. We're talking training camp battles, and I'm starting with the Jacksonville Jaguars. First, I'm going to take a look at this receiver position, and I'm going to start out by telling you the players. D.D. Westbrook, Marquise Lee, Keelan Cole, DJ Chark, Chris Conley, and Terrell Pryor. I think they have the best chance of making this roster, and I'm going to do a little breakdown of each one, and I'll give you a final analysis at the end. I'm going to start out with D.D. Westbrook. He's the leading returning receiver on the roster, and he had 66 catches for 717 yards while playing in 16 games in 2018. D.D. took a huge step forward on a production standpoint from a surprisingly good rookie season. D.D. possesses home run potential every time the ball is in his hands. He's slippery, he's fast, he's got long speed, he's twitchy. Man, and he should only get better with Nick Foles there, which should be better quarterback play than he saw in 2018. Next up, I have former USC great Marquise Lee, coming off of a torn ACL that cost him his entire 2018 season. Lee's had trouble staying on the field. He's had quite a few injuries. He's only played 16 games once. Now, when Lee's healthy, watch out, man. He's a space matchup nightmare. Short space, that's talking. And when he has the ball in his hands, he makes special things happen. He's magic. But there's no guarantee that Lee's going to be back in time for the 2018 season. But when he's back, I expect to see him on the field quite a bit. Next up, I have DJ Chark. He might be the fastest receiver on this team, which says a lot because Westbrook, Lee, Conley, all of them can fly. Chark ran a 4.34 at the 2018 NFL Combine, and Chark also possesses something that none of the other receivers on this roster possess, outside of Pryor, which is size. He's 6'4". We know Foles likes the big receivers. We saw it with Alshon Jeffries. He just likes to put it up and go get it, and maybe Chark could be that guy here. We'll see. Next up, I have Chris Conley. He's newly acquired talent from Kansas City. Conley's an athletic freak who was buried behind very talented receivers during his time with Kansas City. But he showed some signs last year. He had 32 catches for 334 yards to go along with 5 touchdowns. Conley has some experience with Foles. They played together for a year, and maybe there's some chemistry there. Remains to be seen. Next, I have Keelan Cole. He bursted into the league in 2017, and he averaged a whopping 18 yards per catch. Watch out. Now, Cole had a somewhat disappointing 2018, where his yards per catch definitely came down. I mean, they're not going to stay at 18, I'm sorry. But they came down to 13 per catch. I'm not sure if that was a product of poor quarterback play, or maybe he's just more pedestrian than they thought. I think Cole's going to have a big camp if he wants to see significant playing time, because there's just a serious influx of talent here. And honestly, I don't see him being better at any one thing than any of these other players are. So, next I have Terrell Pryor. Whew, that's a stinky name. Feels like a decade ago when Pryor had that 1,000-yard season with the Browns, and he looked like he was, next big thing. Washington paid him a bunch of money, and so it's been 3 seasons, and Pryor's been on 4 teams since then. And Pryor possesses a nice mix of size and athleticism, though I feel like if Pryor doesn't stick in Jacksonville, I think his NFL path might be closing soon. So, here's my prediction for the roster. I have D.D. Westbrook and Marquise Lee as the starting 2 receivers. I have Chark as the number 3, with Conley and Cole filling out the roster. I foresee 2019 being the end of the line for Terrell Pryor. Now, my overall breakdown of the receiving position here in Jacksonville is, I think, speed kills. And the Jaguars have it 1 through 5 with some size mixed in, if you look at Chark and Conley's ability to go up and get it. While they don't possess a lead dog in this pack of burners, they do have a lot of like-for-like depth, which isn't a bad thing. In most cases, you lose a player to injury and you expect a huge drop-off in production from the players behind him. I don't see this with this underrated receiving core. Okay, so moving on to linebacker. And a few names you need to know are Miles Jack, Quincy Williams, Jake Ryan, Leon Jacobs, DJ Alexander, and Najee Good. Now the contenders I have are, well, let's start out by saying Telvin Smith, one of the 2 super talents on the position at this position with this Jaguars team, really just gave the Jaguars a gut punch going into 2019. Kelvin decided he needed a break from football. So Jaguars have to adjust, and going from an elite, a chance to really be an elite unit. Well, they were in 2017, they were in 2018, and they're gonna have to adjust here. So you got Miles Jack. He's the versatile star. He moved to middle linebacker last year, and he's the best thing out there. He's one of the best young linebackers in the league. And I'm not going to say a ton about Jack because he'll be starting whether they move him back to middle. Whether they move him back to outside, I think he'll start in the middle. So next, I have Jake Ryan, veteran free agent signing. Ryan is coming off a torn ACL that he sustained during the 2018 preseason. Ryan's still rehabbing, so it's unclear whether he'll be back for any of these offseason camps. I think Ryan's unspectacular, but he is solid. So, we'll see what happens. Next, I have Quincy Williams, a rookie who fits the mold of what Jacksonville looks for in their will linebackers. He's sideline to sideline speed, he's aggressive downhill, and he also possesses some coverage skills. Williams will fit into this unit very well. But, like all rookies, if he's going to start week one, there's going to be a learning curve. Now, next I have Leon Jacobs, second-year linebacker with limited starting experience. He got to see a little bit last year. I'm not blown away by what I've seen from Jacobs on tape. He's got nice size, but he's a very average athlete. I give him a nod going forward because there's a lack of options, and he's still young. He's only 23. Maybe I'll see more this year. The rest, I have DJ Alexander. He's an elite special teamer, and honestly, he should not see the field on defense. I'm sorry, he just should not see the field. That would be absolute worst case scenario. But special team wise, man, I saw him a lot in Philadelphia last year. He gets down there and he makes plays. And then I have Najee, not very good. I'm sorry about that terrible joke, but honestly, Najee's a pretty decent special teamer, and he's been around for a long time. And he can spot play at defensive linebacker. He gets out there. Now my prediction is Miles Jack starting in the middle, Quincy Williams at the will, and Leon Jacobs at the Sam. I think Ryan's going to take a while to get back from injury, and I could see him being a solid veteran backup along with Najee Good as the primary backups there. Now, here's my positional breakdown. While losing a linebacker of Telvin Smith's caliber isn't something you just plug and play. You can't just plug in a guy and just expect the unit to be exactly the same as it was last year. I don't see this unit slipping very far. I think Jack is one of the best young linebackers in the league. And Williams, honestly, on tape, he reminds me a lot of Smith. That size, he's a little undersized. He can get sideline to sideline. He can do some things. And hey, if Jacobs wins the job at the Sam, I think he makes a difference against the run. I don't think there's going to be too much drop off from a production standpoint from previous seasons. So next, we're going to look at the safety positions. We're going to talk about Rodney Harrison, Gerard Wilson, Cody Davis, C.J. Rivas, and Zedrick Woods. I'm going to start with Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison's a second-year safety out of the University of Alabama. Harrison's tall, rangy, and aggressive against the run. Harrison forced his way into the starting lineup, playing really good in the big nickel package. He left veteran safety Barry Church looking for a job before the season even ended. Harrison has star potential, but isn't long on starting experience, obviously. Second-year safety, was behind a couple veterans. We'll see how he does in the starting lineup because Harrison is going to be a star. Next up, we're going to talk about Gerard Wilson. So he started from the bottom, undrafted rookie free agent in 2016, earned his chops as a special teams ace, slowly made his way into the starting lineup. In 2018, he started the final 3 games, and Wilson impressed enough over short playing time to earn a 3-year contract extension this past offseason. There's a lot to like about Wilson. He's big, he's intelligent, and I think he's going to be a nice compliment for Harrison going forward. Next up, I got Cody Davis, a longtime NFL backup and special teams ace. Davis is short on NFL starting experience. He only started 5 games in 6 NFL seasons. Next, I got C.J. Rivas, 2018 undrafted free agent. Flashed in 2018 preseason. Dressed and played in 4 games to close out 2018. Contributed 1 tackle. Rivas got promoted from practice squad on his 2018 on his birthday. That'd be a very happy birthday in a Rivas household. It's pretty cool. Lastly, I got Zedrick Woods, 2019 undrafted free agent. Combine's fastest player out of Ole Miss. I touched on Woods' potential in our undrafted series. Woods is fast and raw, needs to show that he can contribute on special teams to break through this roster. Now, my prediction for this team is, for this unit is Rodney Harrison as the starting strong safety, Jared Wilson as the free safety. That's pretty obvious right now. Now, I see them picking up a veteran safety to play the third safety role in a big nickel, because I got to be honest, it looks pretty dim behind Harrison and Wilson. I can't imagine Cody Davis playing significant playing time on that defense, and Zedrick and Rivas just aren't ready to play significant roles either. So I see Davis still making the team as the fourth safety, and I see Zedrick beating out Rivas as the fifth safety if he can show he can play special teams, just based on physical ability alone. I mean, the man can fly. So, like I said, I see them picking up maybe a veteran after the final cut or before preseason, late training camp. So, my breakdown of this unit is youth has served in 2019 for Jaguars. Last season, it was all about veteran leadership and experience. Late last season, the front office made room for these young players to show what they could do, and I think they're going to be rewarded this season with some high quality play between Harrison and Wilson. This has been another Weekend Hangover podcast. I'm your boy Surf. Join the nation, man. Definitely subscribe, give us some likes, all that good stuff. Give me a comment. Maybe I sucked. I want to hear about it. All right, thank you guys. Stay tuned for the next one.